Olson, Jeff. The pandemic hasn't stopped Trump's rollback of clean car standards. The Hill, March 31, 2020. Bump, Philip. Trump's plan to use a Cold War-era law to bolster the coal industry, explained. Washington Post, June 1, 2018. Bureau of Land Management. BLM offers revision to methane waste prevention rule. February 12, 2018. Bureau of Land Management. Interior's Bureau of Land Management begins planning effort for NPRA. November 20, 2018. CBS News. Trump says climate change not a hoax but questions if it's man-made. CBS, October 15, 2018. Celica, Chris. Donald Trump buried a climate change report because I don't believe it. CNN, November 27, 2018. Clement, Joel. I'm a scientist. I'm blowing the whistle on the Trump administration. Washington Post, July 19, 2017. Climate change, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. https://19 January 2017 snapshot.epa.gov/climate change_.html. Congressional Research Service. The Congressional Review Act, CRA frequently asked questions. Updated January 14, 2020. Council on Environmental Quality. Update to the regulations implementing the procedural provisions of the National Environmental Policy Act, Final Rule. 85 Federal Reg. 43304, July 16, 2020. Council on Environmental Quality. Withdrawal of final guidance for federal departments and agencies on consideration of greenhouse gas emissions and the effects of climate change in National Environmental Policy Act reviews, notice. 82 Federal Reg. 16576, April 5, 2017. Davenport, Carol. EPA faces bigger tasks, smaller budgets, and louder critics. New York Times, March 18, 2016. Davenport, Coral. Trump eliminates major methane rule, even as leaks are worsening. New York Times, August 20, 2020. Davenport, Coral. U.S. to announce rollback of auto pollution rules, a key effort to fight climate change. New York Times, March 30, 2020. Davenport, Coral, and Lisa Friedman. EPA Inspector General to investigate Trump's biggest climate rollback. New York Times, July 27, 2020. Davenport, Carol, Lisa Friedman, and Maggie Haberman. EPA Chief Scott Pruitt resigns under a cloud of ethics scandals. New York Times, July 5, 2018. Davis, Julie Hirschfeld. Spending plan passed by Congress is a rebuke to Trump. Here's why. New York Times, March 22, 2018. DeLaughey, Jennifer A., Trump prepares lifeline for money-losing coal plants. Bloomberg, May 31, 2018. Alperin, Juliet. Senate Democrats call for an investigation of climate scientist whistleblower complaint. Washington Post, July 24, 2017. Alperin, Juliet and Darla Cameron. How Trump is rolling back Obama's legacy. Washington Post, updated January 20, 2019. Alperin, Juliet, Josh Dawsey, and Brady Dennis. White House blocked intelligence agencies' written testimony calling climate change possibly catastrophic. Washington Post, June 8, 2019. Environmental Data and Governance Initiative. The New Digital Landscape, How the Trump Administration Has Undermined Federal Web Infrastructures for Climate Information. July 2019. Environmental Data and Governance Initiative. Website Monitoring. Environmental Integrity Project. Trump Watch, EPA. Environmental Integrity Project. Who's running Trump's EPA? Erickson, Peter, Sivan Kartha, Michael Lazarus, and Kevin Tempest. Assessing Carbon Lock-in. Environmental Research Letters 10, No. 8, 2015. Exec. Order No. 13766, expediting environmental reviews and approvals for high-priority infrastructure projects. 82 Federal Reg. 8657. January 30, 2017. Exec. Order No. 13783, promoting energy independence and economic growth. 82 Federal Reg. 16093. March 31, 2017. Exec. Order No. 13795, implementing an America First offshore energy strategy. 82 Federal Reg. 20815. May 3, 2017. Exec. Order No. 13927, accelerating the nation's economic recovery from the COVID-19 emergency by expediting infrastructure investments and other activities. 85 Federal Reg 35165. June 9, 2020. FEMA. 2018 to 2022 Strategic Plan. 2018. Friedman, Lisa. EPA cancels talk on climate change by agency scientists. New York Times, October 22, 2017. Guarino, Dan Trump's budget could have chilling effect on U.S. clean energy leadership. Inside Climate News, April 2, 2019. Gentile, Nicole and Kate Kelly. The Trump administration is stifling renewable energy on public lands and waters. Center for American Progress, June 25, 2020. Grandoni, Dino, Brady Dennis, and Chris Mooney. Scott Pruitt asks whether global warming is necessarily a bad thing. Denver Post, February 7, 2018. Grandoni, Dino. The Energy 202, Interior Agency blocks group of archaeologists from attending scientific conference. Washington Post, May 3, 2018. Grid Memo. May 29, 2018. Gustin, Georgina. Tax overhaul preserves critical credits for wind, solar, and electric vehicles. Inside Climate News, December 22, 2017. H.Res 6. Adopting the rules of the House of Representatives for the 116th Congress, and for other purposes. 116th Congress. 2019. H.Res 109. Recognizing the duty of the federal government to create a Green New Deal. 116th Congress. 2019. Hand, Mark. Climate, environmental programs left mostly untouched in budget deal. Think Progress, May 1, 2017. Harvard Environmental and Energy Law Program. EPA Mission Tracker. Harvard Environmental and Energy Law Program. Regulatory Rollback Tracker. House Select Committee on the Climate Crisis. Solving the Climate Crisis, the Congressional Action Plan for a Clean Energy Economy and a Healthy, Resilient, and Just America. June 2020. IEA. World Energy Investment 2018. Paris, France, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, 2018. Irfan, Umair. Trump White House issues climate change report undermining its own policy. Vox, November 26, 2018. Jacobson, Mark. Abstracts of 47 peer-reviewed published journal articles from 13 independent research groups with 91 different authors supporting the result that energy for electricity, transportation, building heating/cooling, and/or industry can be supplied reliably with 100% or near 100% renewable energy at different locations worldwide. December 29, 2019. Kaplan, Sarah. Government scientists blocked from the biggest meeting in their field. Washington Post, December 22, 2017. Kaufman, Alexander C. Leaked memo, EPA shows workers how to downplay climate change. HuffPost, March 28, 2018. Lavelle, Marianne. Trump's executive order, more fossil fuels, regardless of climate change. Inside Climate News, March 28, 2017. Levin, Kelly, and Dennis Turpik. This month in Climate Science. World Resources Institute, Washington, D.C., August 20, 2020. Levitz, Eric. Trump thwarts GOP plot to pretend his climate agenda isn't idiotic. New York, May 28, 2019. Lieberman, Bruce. What Trump's proposed NEPA rollback could mean for the climate. February 20, 2020. Liptak, Kevin, and Jim Acosta. Trump on Paris Accord, we're getting out. CNN, June 2, 2017. Majumdar, Bianca, Sally Hardin, and Claire Moser. The impact of the coronavirus on the renewable energy industry. Center for American Progress, April 15, 2020. Merrill, M. D. B. M. Sleater, P. A. Freeman, J. Liu, P. A. D. Warwick, and B. C. Reed. Federal Lands Greenhouse Gas Emissions and Sequestration in the United States, Estimates for 2005 to 14. U.S. Geological Survey Scientific Investigations Report, 2018 to 5131. 2018. National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2018. National Geographic. A running list of how President Trump is changing environmental policy. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Corporate Average Fuel Economy. Megan, Elliott. Energy Department scientists barred from attending nuclear power conference. HuffPost, August 1, 2017. Office of Management and Budget. A Budget for a Better America, Fiscal Year 2020 Budget of the U.S. Government. Washington, D.C., U.S. Government Publishing Office, 2019. Aprisco, Caitlin. I don't believe it. Trump dismisses grim government report on climate change. Politico, November 26, 2018. Patterson, Brittany. Government scientist blocked from talking about climate and fire. ENE News, October 31, 2017. Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration. Pipeline Safety, Gas Pipeline Regulatory Reform, Notice of Proposed Rulemaking. 85 Federal Reg. 35240. June 9, 2020. Plumer, Brad. Trump orders a lifeline for struggling coal and nuclear plants. New York Times, June 1, 2018. Presidential Memorandum, Construction of the Keystone XL Pipeline. 82 Federal Reg. 8663. January 30, 2017. Reuters. Clean energy has shed nearly 600,000 U.S. jobs due to pandemic, report. Reuters, May 13, 2020. Rhodium Group. Preliminary U.S. emissions estimates for 2018. January 8, 2019. Rice, Doyle. Buried? Feds to release major climate report day after Thanksgiving. USA Today, November 21, 2018. S.Res. 59. A resolution recognizing the duty of the federal government to create a Green New Deal. 116th Congress. 2019. Sabin Center for Climate Change Law. Climate Deregulation Tracker. Science News. Trump, Congress approve largest U.S. research spending increase in a decade. Science, March 23, 2018. Smith, Christopher, et al. Current fossil fuel infrastructure does not yet commit us to 1.5 degrees Celsius warming. Nature Communications 10, Number 1, 2019. Stone, Peter. Swampy symbiosis, fossil fuel industry has more clout than ever under Trump. The Guardian, September 27, 2019. Swanson, Anna, and Brad Plumer. Trump slaps steep tariffs on foreign washing machines and solar products. New York Times, January 22, 2018. The Trump administration is reversing nearly 100 environmental rules. Here's the full list. New York Times, last visited October 15, 2020. Tenpa's, Catherine Dunn. Vacancies, acting officials and the waning role of the U.S. Senate. The Brookings Institute, September 24, 2020. Tollefson, Jeff. U.S. government disbands Climate Science Advisory Committee. Scientific American, April 21, 2017. Tracking how many key positions Trump has filled so far. Washington Post. Union of Concerned Scientists. New UCS report tallies attacks on science in Trump era harming public health. January 28, 2019. U.S. Department of Energy. DOE announces intent to provide $122 million to establish coal products innovation centers. June 26, 2020. U.S. Department of Energy, Office of Fossil Energy. Extending natural gas export authorizations to non-free trade agreement countries through the year 2050. 85 Federal Reg. 52237. August 25, 2020. U.S. Department of the Interior. Interior announces date for largest oil and gas lease sale in U.S. history. February 16, 2018. U.S. Department of the Interior. Secretary Order No. 3350. America First Offshore Energy Strategy. May 1, 2017. U.S. Department of the Interior. Secretary Bernhard signs decision to implement the Coastal Plain Oil and Gas Leasing Program in Alaska. August 17, 2020. U.S. Department of the Interior. Secretary Zinke announces largest oil and gas lease sale in U.S. history. October 24, 2017. U.S. Department of the Interior. Secretary Zinke announces plan for unleashing America's offshore oil and gas potential. January 4, 2018. U.S. Department of the Interior, Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. 2019 to 2024 National Outer Continental Shelf Oil and Gas Leasing, Draft Proposed Program. January 2018. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. EPA issues final policy and technical amendments to the new source performance standards for the oil and natural gas industry. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. EPA takes another step to advance President Trump's America First strategy, proposes repeal of Clean Power Plan. October 10, 2017. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. FI 2018 to 2019 Office of Land and Emergency Management National Program Manager Guidance. 540B17001, September 29, 2017. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. FI 2020 to 2021 Office of Land and Emergency Management National Program Manager Guidance. 500B19002, June 7, 2019. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Oil and natural gas sector, emission standards for new, reconstructed, and modified sources, stay of certain requirements, proposed rule. 82 Federal Reg. 27645. June 16, 2017. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Oil and natural gas sector, emission standards for new, reconstructed, and modified sources review, final rule. 85 Federal Reg. 57018. September 14, 2020. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Regulations for greenhouse gas emissions from passenger cars and trucks. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Repeal of the Clean Power Plan, emission guidelines for greenhouse gas emissions from existing electric utility generating units, revisions to emission guidelines implementing regulations, final rule. 84 Federal Reg. 32520. July 8, 2019. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. The Safer Affordable Fuel Efficient, SAFE, Vehicles Proposed Rule for Model Years 2021 to 2026. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Working Together, FI 2018 to 2022 U.S. EPA Strategic Plan. EPA 190R18003. Washington, D.C., February 2018. U.S. Global Change Research Program. Climate Science Special Report, 4th National Climate Assessment, Volume 1 Washington, D.C., 2017. U.S. Global Change Research Program. Impacts, Risks, and Adaptation in the United States, 4th National Climate Assessment, Volume 2. Washington, D.C., 2018. U.S. Government Accountability Office. Climate information, a national system could help federal, state, local, and private sector decision-makers use climate information. GAO 1637. Washington, D.C., November 2015. U.S. Government Accountability Office. High-Risk Series, Substantial Efforts Needed to Achieve Greater Progress on High-Risk Areas. GAO 19-157 SP Washington, D.C., March 6, 2019. U.S. Government Accountability Office. Social Cost of Carbon, Identifying a federal entity to address the National Academy's recommendations could strengthen regulatory analysis. GAO 20-254. Washington, D.C., June 2020. Visser, Nick. Interior Department scrubs climate change from agency website. Again. HuffPost, June 13, 2017. Washington Post Editorial Board. Pruitt and Perry continue to play down climate change. Washington Post, January 21, 2017. Wheeler, Andrew. Memorandum to Assistant Administrators, Increasing Consistency and Transparency in Considering Benefits and Costs in the Rulemaking Process. May 13, 2019. White House, The Energy and Environment. Accessed August 6, 2018. https://trumpwhitehouse.archives.gov/issues/energy-environment/. White House, The President Donald J. Trump is unleashing American energy dominance. May 14, 2019. White House, The National Security Strategy of the United States of America. December 2017. Back to top. U.S. Energy Information Administration. Monthly Energy Review April 2020. 2020. National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Global Mean CO2 Mixing Ratios. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Earth System Research Laboratory. Trends in Atmospheric Carbon Dioxide. Gilfillan, D. G. Marland, T. Aboden, and R. Andres. Global, Regional, and National Fossil Fuel CO2 Emissions. Carbon Dioxide Information Analysis Center, Appalachian State University. Back to top. This webpage includes most of the exhibits and other documents cited in the new. The webpage does not include references to the United States Code, as well as books and documents covered by copyright restrictions. Please contact Our Children's Trust at info@ourchildrenstrust.org for more information. Make a donation today. The world's only non-profit public interest law firm dedicated exclusively to securing the legal rights of youth to a healthy atmosphere and safe climate, based on the best available science. Contact us. Terms and conditions.